There was once a day that I would pray for you. I'd go and misbehave just so you'd notice too. Sneaking looks up and down from across the room. And damn, what a hell of a view. I feel good, you look great, I like you, I can't wait. A first time, a first date, you're so fine, I'm so late. You sip wine, I drink straight, don't waste time to my place. I feel my heart erase, so catch me if I fall. Praying that this night's gonna last. You got it all on tap, I'm loving your vibe, always have your back. We like all the same tracks, listen all night in the sheets all black. Said I'm falling fast, don't remember life before you, that's fact. I feel good, you look great, I like you, I can't wait. A first time, a first date, you're so fine, I'm so late. You sip wine, I drink straight, don't waste time to my place. I feel my heart erase, so catch me if I fall.
And here we are. And I'm going to start out with this. I'm going to start out with this first, okay? Pun intended. Umberto, amigo, welcome. And you are ready to roll. It's like you are always ready to roll. So thank you for the support. And hello, amigo. Hey, that rhymes. And Sean, you, I don't know, do you want to do the normal intro,
Yes.
the housekeeping they call it?
Of course.
Okay, are you going to flash up the websites? Party people, if you're joining in for the first time or second, third, doesn't matter. Maybe you've never heard the context. Context gives meaning. So let me apply some context to the moment. Sean and I both have independent YouTube stations. You might be tuning in on my station. You might be tuning on Sean's. Sean has thrown up on the screen his YouTube station, which is ShineLikeaProAZ, which is Arizona. So he is streaming live to that channel. And then we have my channel, which is Auto Fetish Detail. And you might be tuning in on that channel. So just to add some context and to make a distinction as to what is going on with those two, now you know. Now, Sean, do you have the ability, you know, that little intro when people are waiting, the wind up, you know, you've got the fresh music going on.
Yeah.
Kind of Bob, can you throw that up on the screen by chance?
I can, but then we won't be able to talk.
All right, never mind. I just want to make the disclaimer that you choose.
No one cares, Darren.
You choose the character. What's that?
No, I know what you're gonna say, but no one's gonna care about your character. You're the only person in the world that cares.
Well, I only care because I think, anyhow, I was just going to apply more context, meaning it was your choice, not mine, and that was taken at the gym. It's funny. No. All right, so Sean, what did you want to talk about today?
So I want to talk about a couple of things. One, I want to first start this video by saying that I am slightly buzzed.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I know this is not a promotion towards.
That's funny.
Towards this, but you probably can't see it because of the stupid background that I have. But
yeah, throw it in front of your face and it might show it.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, there we go. And I can't actually tell because your thumbnail's too small.
Yeah.
Can you get rid of my website thing and show maybe a fuller, larger? Truly what?
Truly, that's it. It's a drink.
I know, I get that, but what are they intimating there? Like, what's the suggestion? Like, truly what? Truly refreshing? Truly buzzworthy?
I don't know, just a name.
And but what is it?
It's have you heard of White Claws?
Yes.
Okay, it's basically like a White Claw, but it's a little like more fruity tasting.
All I know about White Claw is that it's got some degree of alcohol in it, and
Yeah, stronger than beer.
it's stronger than beer.
Yeah.
Like by how large of a margin?
So usually the beer is around 3.9%, and the Trulies are 5%.
Ooh, party going down at Sean's place.
There you go. There's Umberto saying, "What's up, Truly?"
Truly,
Oh, what's that?
truly
What is that,
scrumptious.
Truly? Yeah. So basically, this right here is. I'll put it in my face. Darren came up with a good idea. Uh, this is not a promotion for. This is not an alcoholic promotion. I'm not getting paid to say that I like Trulies. It's just that I used to drink. Darren knows I used to drink beer, and
That kind of suggests that I know that you don't drink beer any longer because I don't know that.
I don't drink beer anymore.
Oh, really? But tonight you're letting loose.
Yes, that's right, Umberto. It's all about killing myself slowly but surely.
Yeah, Sean's kidneys have been acting up, so he needs to punish them tonight.
Right. I haven't actually had any alcohol in about 6 weeks.
Yeah. So,
Anyways, that was this is a very quick mention about the alcohol because I've never drank before live.
yeah.
I don't know if YouTube's gonna get mad. I don't think they're gonna care. So
Well, I don't
um,
think people care.
yeah,
I know, like when you do catch a buzz, I can tell. Generally, if I know someone pretty well,
yeah,
I can usually tell when they have alcohol on their brain because they're just different.
yeah. So okay, so that's number one. Number two, I want to talk about. So this is a little bit. This is related towards business. I released a new video today of you, and it's when you're talking about like the LLCs and different types of like the S corp and different types of
Yeah,
businesses.
yeah.
Yeah. So, but one thing I want to mention, I don't know if you heard about this. We heard of something called BOI.
Wow, that was a wind up.
All right. Have you heard
What'd
of
you
something?
call it?
It's called B as in Bravo, O I,
I do
BOI.
tell. I have not heard of it.
Okay, so it is no longer in effect, but this was something made by the last administration.
Yeah.
You know, the Sleepy administration. Um, that they implemented this thing called basically it's called BOI, and what it's supposed to do is any business that made under $5 million a year, they had to register with the government. And
Seriously?
yeah, it's really stupid. It was
Oh my gosh.
and here's more. And the ironic part is made so to be more transparent in regards to money laundering. And which is ironic about that because all the things that would like if I was a criminal, right? And I'm gonna
Right.
launder money, I would launder money like in a bank. So all the banks were excluded. All the capital ventures were excluded,
Oh yeah.
which is hilarious, right? And then anyway, so and if you didn't register, I think it's before March 20th or something like that. You could have been fined up to $10,000 and 2 years in prison.
Did they ever enforce that? I mean, I'm
Yeah,
surprised I didn't hear about it
no,
because that
that's
would
the purpose.
suggest that I would have had to
Yeah, that was the
because I
point
have a
of
corporation.
the point of it was that the vast majority of small business had no clue this stuff existed. You know, people
You
might
know
know
what,
about it.
Sean? Your thing does cut out, by the way.
Does
Yeah.
okay? Let me fix that right now. Hold on. Let me see if I can fix it.
And how are you going to fix it?
Bring my other mic.
You mean you're just going to start using your other mic again?
Yep.
So you're actually not going to fix what you're using. You're going to switch to the old mic.
Well, if I'm sure I want to hold people up. Is it pretty bad or?
No, it's just intermittent. Like I don't know. The sound seems to drift down a little bit, where
Yeah.
it's a little harder to hear you, and then it literally cuts out like a Bluetooth signal that's cutting out.
Oh yeah. I see what you're saying. Yep. Okay. 1 second. I'll fix it right now.
Which I know you said it is Bluetooth. Yeah.
1 second.
So Umberto, I can't hear you. Yes, his microphone is kind of losing it. What's going on, Umberto? What's your week been like? It's been 6 days since we've interacted with each other. Sean got a game. Yeah. I suspect, Umberto, that's one gamer to another because I would not recognize it. But you do, so that would suggest that you are likely a gamer, Umberto. I myself I don't think I've ever played a single gamer game. I'm not sure if that makes sense, but I've never played a single game. So I can't really, I'm the last person to ask about this stuff. No, we can't hear you, Sean. Sean, you should just switch to the, nope, nada. We can't hear you. I wonder if Sean, wait, speak, Sean. Sean.
Hold on 1 second.
We can hear that. I was in Ohio and got back on Thursday. Dude, why were you in Ohio? And, oh, that's right. Sean's in Iowa, not Ohio. You know what, Umberto? I'm going to say that Ohio is one of those states. Once again, yeah, I'm moving to Ohio. Said no one ever. Or, yeah, I'm going to go visit Ohio. Said nobody ever.
Okay, there we go. Problem fixed.
Yeah, that sounds better. It does sound like you're in a bathroom now, but at least we can hear you better.
Okay, well, next time I won't use like the other one again.
Yeah, no, that sounds better, even though there is some reverberation because of the echo. So Umberto's not a gamer, but I see my sons wearing them. Okay, that makes sense. And probably my sons wore them also. They all binged or whatever you want to call it on their gaming back in the day when they were younger. So Sean, as you were saying, BOI, government oversight, overregulation. Glad it's not a thing anymore, correct?
Yeah, so so what happened was there's a YouTuber that I follow. He's like a financial YouTuber. He went on X, reached out to Elon Musk.
Yeah.
And had his followers reach out to them. And Elon Musk finally got a hold of it. He said he would look into it. He told Trump about it. And Trump immediately announced it yesterday that he removed it 100%. So no
really?
more. Yeah,
wow,
so
that's
pretty
cool.
Cool.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so I was really, really excited to hear about that. But
anyways,
anyways,
isn't that amazing? Like literally that, like, because I was watching a video last night also about how Trump was talking that he'll take phone calls from all these foreign countries, you know.
Yeah.
And they're like, whoa, this is unexpected. I mean, it's just completely different, like a true 180-degree difference. So nice.
Yeah, here's Umberto.
Yeah, well, that sounds like that's above my pay grade, Umberto. I mean, I'm a pretty technical guy, despite what Sean suggests. I leave it up to him to handle all this infrastructure and technical stuff. But yeah, I've been doing, you know, digital technical stuff, whatever you want to call it, for, well, over 15 years, I'd say, with building websites and coding. And I do not enjoy it. I like the tangible 3-dimensional world. So Sean,
anyways, so what I want to talk about today,
yeah, International Women's Day, jack off sign.
No, yeah. No.
You know, there's a saying from The Rational Male: men have to, or what is it? Women just are, and men have to become. Which means, as society, women, we adore them, we esteem them just for the mere fact of being a woman. But men, we don't get that same privilege. We have to actually prove ourselves before we are labeled as worthy participants, worthy people of society. Okay, a little sidebar. Go on, Sean.
So what I want to talk about today is basically I've been watching a lot of YouTube lately.
Yeah.
And there's so many new YouTube channels in auto detailing. And I would say,
yeah.
I can't
wait for it. Once again, everyone wants to talk about detailing and shoot videos about detailing, but no one wants to do it.
Right. So I would say that I can't speak for if these numbers are right. I can only speak from what I've seen and what YouTube has recommended to me. And I would say 90% of the videos that I've seen is your traditional pressure washer with a trailer or a van or a truck with a tank.
And the heavy duty or emphasis on the foam cannon.
Yeah.
Wash down. Yeah.
Right. So, and I remember even before I met you, I remember I used to use some form of rinseless wash.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. And I was been intrigued by it, and I was wondering, like, why can't we do this more often? Then obviously I met you, and I found out they used it a lot. Obviously, but obviously the difference is that you're not a traditional auto detailer. You're more of a restoration detailer.
One way to put it, yeah. I don't do the weekly washing.
Right.
In fact, I pretty much engineered my business and the way I communicate to my customers, so I pretty much never had to wash a car.
Right. Well, I remember being with you, and some glorified. He would say he's an auto detailer, but he's not. Some glorified mobile washer will come in, wash a car, and then you come afterwards and you detail it.
Yeah.
So what I want to talk about today is how more and more people should not be afraid to use the rinseless wash method.
Yeah.
So many people are afraid of it. So many people are like they still to this day people look down on it. Which I think is silly because it works. I mean, like I operated an actual detailing business. 90% of it I used rinseless. I did not use like water, or rarely did I use a lot of water.
Yeah.
So and then I never had a complaint ever. So, but anyways, I don't know what Umberto was saying right here.
Yeah, he's talking about his
programming stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Umberto. All indicators suggest he's a smart guy.
Yeah.
And side job is detailing.
Surprised he doesn't have his own YouTube channel.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I mean, some people just, I mean, it's such a commitment. You know it, just as I know it. And then, like, what's the ROI on that also? So who knows?
But in any case, so what I wanted to say was that I think you and I today should, besides answering people's questions, if anybody has any questions about rinseless wash, or if you guys are in the audience, either you use it or don't use it. Obviously, I know Juice Free, he uses it. He's not on here right now, but if you do use it, what are your thoughts on it? Do you hate it? Do you love it? I love it, but what about you, Darren? What are your thoughts? I don't know what your thoughts. You like it?
Well, yes, I'm a big fan of it, but maybe a good question would be, why do I like it? I like it because to me, it represents a way to become more profitable by getting from point A to point B quicker.
Right.
But part of the problem is I think that guys, they don't apply the context. So for example, would I do rinseless or waterless? And once again, we often find ourselves like toggling between terminology.
Right.
And the industry there's no standardization in it. So therefore, we could be talking about rinseless, which this has already happened on a previous episode, and some guys out there thinking waterless.
Yeah.
Or we might be talking about waterless and some guys thinking rinseless.
Right.
And once again, the industry, there's no standardization between terminology as well as processes. So it gets really confusing, as in, well, wait a minute, what is waterless washing versus rinseless washing or detailing? Like, what is that? So that already is a starting point. I mean, in very simple terms, because I saw that video that you edited of mine, Sean.
Yeah.
Where I think it was the side-by-side O&R against CSI.
Yes.
It was not, what's that?
It's a good video.
Yeah. And it was not so much about that you were, at least this is my interpretation of it, even though I'm the one that's in the video.
Yeah.
It wasn't really necessarily a direct comparison like, oh, O&R is better or CSI is better.
Right.
I feel like it was more about the fact of like, hey, this technology is real.
Yeah.
And I am a big fan of it.
Right.
And I want to demonstrate that to the audience.
Yes.
And I think I captured that well in that video with my personal anecdotes of life, which is over the past, let's say 20 years, actually probably more than that, but let's just say 20 years, I've talked to many guys. And you know what? Let me set this up better, because now it's so well known, everyone knows about it. So they either embrace it or they don't. But let's say 10 years ago, it was less known.
Yeah.
People weren't talking about it. People weren't employing it. There was less products to use or to pick and choose from to do it. So rewind the clock 10 years ago, And now let's pretend I'm talking about it. And I would say, oh yeah, for the past 10 years, which would then make it 20 years ago, I would tell guys like, hey, have you ever tried this? And I mean, seriously, 20 years ago, I am curious if there was even a true rinseless product out there, because as I've said in other of these episodes, Sean,
Yeah.
I was doing rinseless, waterless. We'll just call them the same thing right now. Before we had these products, I was doing rinseless before we even had access to microfiber cloths. That doesn't mean microfibers didn't exist. It's just that I didn't have access to the internet because it didn't exist like it does today.
Right.
Therefore, I was limited on my knowledge of what was new in textiles, which would be microfiber cloths. I didn't have my finger on the pulse when it came to detailing supplies because didn't have the internet. So much of what I did, I had to rely on, like, let's say my distributor for the products I bought.
Right.
I had to rely on, well, I was going to say other detailers, but honestly, we didn't compare notes. You don't show up to a parking lot and see some other fellow detailer and you go over there and like, hey bud, what's going on? Not that we wouldn't be willing to. It's just that both of us were probably focused on just getting the job done. Point is that between my crews and myself, we innovated what is called today rinseless or waterless washing. It doesn't mean there wasn't some other guy out there and maybe some other part of the world that wasn't doing the same thing and came to the same conclusion. I just know that I did.
Yeah.
It was a byproduct of frustration. It was so time consuming to do the normal, use 20 gallons to hose the car down, then shampoo it up or wash, lather it up, rinse it, dry it. And then now you've got endless drips, just all this water, excess water dripping out of all the seams forever. And now, so you have to blow it off. I'm going, oh my gosh, this is agonizing. So we started experimenting with it. So to come forward in the story a little bit, I used to tell guys, that were fanatics with their cars. I said, hey, you know what? You can take care of your car much easier. First off, you don't let it get so dirty, because if you don't allow months of dirt to accumulate on it, it's much easier to wash it. And I'm going to show you how to do that by non-traditional car washing methods. And I didn't know what to call it, meaning I didn't call it anything. I just called it, hey, this is just a better way to wash your car.
Right.
So the goal is to take a dirty car and end up with a clean car. So that's the gap that you want to close. So I didn't know what to call it. I just said, I know a better way to get you to your end results that are more efficient. And I am of the opinion that will be more effective, meaning you'll get the results that you want in less effort, less time, and you'll be happier with the end results. So I would tell guys about it, and I would tell them how I did it, and they'd be like, oh, hell no, that's just going to scratch my paint. I said, dude, I promise you your paint already has countless scratches in it.
Yeah.
I accept that you don't want to put more scratches into it, but that's just part of life. So I'm not suggesting that this is going to mar the crap out of your paint or scratch it. I'm just telling you that if you try it, I'm willing to bet that you will become a huge fan. And I tell you, every single guy I showed, and by guy, I mean just typical car owners, and they're like, oh my gosh, like this is so much better. So they became convinced because they tested it out themselves, and they're like, this is so much better, so much quicker. I'm not spending an hour to 2 hours washing my car in a traditional way. Now I'm getting everything done in literally at least half the time. So I've been such a huge fan of it for so long. But nowadays, with all these products, and then you add the specialized microfibers to the equation, I mean, to me, it just doesn't get any better. But that's when it would then lead into the context. Like, when do you decide that this job you're doing, because the job could be on your own car? What kind of car do you have? Is this a car that stays outdoors and you just want it to be clean as your commuter car? Or is it your what do they call those garage queens, or cars that never leave the garage, that are so pampered. There's terms that this industry uses, but I don't remember what they're called. So it depends on which car you're dealing with, or maybe you're a professional, maybe you have a detailing business. So that's where the context is, or I should say that waterless washing or rinseless washing is context dependent. So based on the circumstances, we'll then determine, is this appropriate to do waterless washing, or would it be inappropriate? So once again, like you and I have talked about, Sean,
Yeah.
and I started teaching you when you were doing your business, is I'm a big fan of maintenance detailing. So if I'm doing, so let me set up two.
Well, actually, before we keep going there, we have a lot of questions.
All right. Code for shut it off, Darren.
Well, let's shut it off. Like, let's answer a couple and then we can continue on. That's what I meant.
100% rinseless wash is more effective and to the point. I used ONR for years. Have y'all ever seen Gary Dean's channel? Gary Dean, I haven't heard that name forever. As some of the best in the industry, one towel and one car, no street. That's right. Gary was always pushing his product. I don't remember what it's called, but he was a big fan of the whole rinseless, waterless, whatever you want to call it. I wonder if Gary Dean still is active on YouTube. Do you know who that is, Sean? You and I have never talked about him.
No, but I can look it up here in a second.
Yeah, he was.
I'll make a note.
It was a little over the top, because it was just like, it was literally one, like every video really was just a commercial to sell his products. Not that he wasn't bringing value, but it just did get a little repetitive.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, so yeah, I burped. So
no YouTube channel, but I am a professional first on many channels and try to help people with their questions or processes. Oh, very good. I love rinseless and I've been using it since 94. Yeah, well, that would, our time frames would coordinate there, Umberto. Rinseless is more to be used as a jack of all trades, a master of none. Soap is designed just for exteriors and better way for dirty vehicles, and it's more fun for people too much to set up. Yeah, like doing the whole foam cannon stuff, it makes for better videos and it looks more dramatic. It's what I call detailing theater. It's like, oh wow, that looks so cool. And it is funner. I mean, if you want to if you're going out to just wash your car for fun, like literally you have nothing better to do and plenty of time to kill, it's like, yeah, why not? You got nothing better to do. But honestly, I always had something else to do. As much as I love detailing, it's, I am a man in my situation with life and family and relationship, that like my time is split in so many ways. So despite how much I love doing that stuff, it's like, yeah, there's other stuff that are a little more pressing in the moment. So yeah, if you just got time to burn, then go for it, baby. Foam your ride up. Darren, curious, how long did you guys did you have guys working for you? I used to, but always had headaches no matter the pay. Well, employees as a rule are always going to come with headaches. But with that said, I had, well, first question, how long did you have guys working for you? Shoot, 15 years? I mean, a long time. But my business was not always the same for that 15-year period of time. So for example, my very first employee, man, Ray Wilson, that was his name. And he absolutely positively was one of the best, if not the best, depends on how we want to measure it. But, and he and I were really good friends. And he talked himself into being my first employee. He worked at, you can appreciate this. Sean left us for a moment. Dude, Sean, what's the video stores? Oh, Blockbuster.
Yeah.
Okay, back when I was married to my first wife, so this is probably being, let's see, I got married in 88. This is probably, let's say, probably 91, when Blockbuster was a thing. So we used to go to the same Blockbuster every weekend, try to find our next bad choice in movies to watch for the weekend. And there's a guy that worked there, and we became friends. He knew what I did. And he said, dude, you got to hire me. And I said, I don't think I'm busy enough. After a few months, I just said, you know what? I can't guarantee that I can keep you busy full time. Chances are you're going to like it more than this Blockbuster job. And that's all I had to say. And he was on board, and he ended up working for me, man, forever, like probably 10 years at least. So the point is that was my first employee, but then I grew and I got other employees, and then we put together additional mobile units, and they went out in those mobile units on their own. And then actually I started another business with a guy I knew from the gym, a concrete pumping business. And so Ray, my first employee, we took him and trained him how to run a concrete pump. And so I lost him from detailing, and he went over to the concrete pumping, and he made way better money doing that. So he stayed with that. And so I didn't get to use him anymore, but he was such a good employee. But I've had plenty of other employees that were just no bueno, and they were trouble. In fact, I had one employee like basically steal one of my trucks. He did not show up for work, and he kept the truck. And it's like, dude, what the F? So I was calling him, and this was before the days of texting. I was calling him. He didn't answer his phone. 24 hours went by, called him, kept calling him, still no answer. And so I left him a message and said, dude, if my truck is not back by tonight, I'm going to file a police report that you stole my truck. And it showed up. So yes, they can be a headache. I mean, it really is tough. And at the end of the day, that's why I dialed it back down to just a one-man show only, because I had a shop. I had 2 full-time guys there doing wholesale work. I had the 4 crews that were going around doing mobile, plus myself managing it as well as working. Yeah, it was just too much. All right. Go
Next
on.
one.
And with rinseless ways to clean up the vehicle and not much setup. Yeah, it's so simple. Like I can't. And once again, someone could come in here and argue as to why it doesn't make sense. Yeah, once again, as I said, it's context dependent. So if you've got a car that's just horrendously dirty, it probably wouldn't make much sense because it's just too much dirt to mop up. So yes. And then also, some customers, it was interesting how many of my customers kind of took note that I didn't wash or detail their car in a traditional way.
Yeah.
And they didn't really know how to say it, but it would come up in conversation. Like I recall this one customer, the lady, she, the husband hired us. They had 3 cars. He had a black Escalade. He had a white Rolls Royce. And he had first she had a convertible Maserati, and then they got rid of that. Okay. They got rid of the Maserati, and that's when they got her the Rolls Royce. And then he ended up getting a Ferrari. And I remember one day she came out and she goes, yeah, you don't detail the cars the way other guys do. Like you don't really do a normal wash. I said, no, I don't. And I just left it at that.
Yeah.
And I guess if she had an issue with it, she might have dug her heels in that moment and said something, but she didn't. I mean, because the cars look fabulous every single time I did them. So I'm not sure what she could say, but whatever. I've yet to try rinseless. There's a head spinning amount of options. Yes, there is, but Jimbo, just pick one. And like literally just pick it, like just adopt or just try the process. Honestly, dude, you don't have to even buy a product. Like literally just use a bucket of water and a chenille wash mitt. I am a big fan of a chenille wash mitt. I personally think that's about as gentle and safe as you're going to get. I know some people like the big red sponge, which to me, I do not understand that. I have used it. And even before I used it, I thought, okay, how does this, it's not a firm, yeah, there's a picture of it right there. It's not a firm sponge, meaning it's got a lot of give to it. It's got all these lines cut in it, but it's flat. Like you put it down on dirt and it just is sitting on top of the dirt, and then you just start rubbing. At least with the microfiber, you've got literally microfibers that are like little fingers, like microscopic fingers that kind of go into the dirt. I just find it counterintuitive. Point is just wash your car. And I don't mean a dirty ass car that has accumulated 3 months of dirt on it. I'm talking just a car that's just kind of dirty. And you just wash it with water. Like literally you take a chenille microfiber wash mitt, you saturate with water, and you just start wiping the dirt off. You're not grinding the dirt off. You're not using a lot of pressure. You're just wiping the dirt off. And then you follow it up with a separate microfiber cloth to finesse it to perfection. So you can at least experiment with it on a car that you are less concerned with, to just kind of begin to understand the process. And then when you're done doing that, you'll realize, okay, I've just washed my car and now there's not a bunch of water dripping out of seams. I don't have to blow it off. Now you can just literally go around and finish it with a detailer, a quick detailer if you want. You can use a spray wax on it and thing's going to look awesome. All right, there's Doug. Hydra for the win with waterless wash or rinseless. I thought the Gary Dean method was like 5 towels in a bucket, or am I mashing 2 channels? No, you are correct. And my memory is not on point, because I do remember Gary, but now that you say the 5 towels in a bucket, yes. And honestly, that's a form of rinseless or waterless. Yeah. Once again, those two labels to me, it's just a blurred line between the two. But yes, that's right. That does sound familiar, Doug, and I think you're on point. Would rinseless work in the winter when it's just above freezing? Hot water and pump sprayer, get the salt and grime off when it's too cold for the hose. Well, that's a case by case. Like my son recently moved to Utah, and he's told me about him trying to wash his car when it's cold enough where things are freezing up. And it is a problem. You have to work faster. Yeah. And I think what he does is he takes his car to a self-service wash, with a pressure washer type of bay. And I think he either races home, not literally, but races home and then finishes it there. And I think it's close enough where the water's not freezing up on it and he can then wipe it down. But it's like a lot of situations. You've got to learn how to adapt to what nature and what the situation is presenting you with. So if it is a challenge because the air is so cold that things will start freezing, you're going to have to figure out what works. And that
or another option too is like me. I'm in Iowa right now, and it's not as cold right now, but it was pretty cold. And I actually have O&R in me, and I actually went to the garage and washed my car.
Yeah, check you out.
Yeah.
So, working in colder weather like that, it might just mean that you have to use more water, because the water will dissolve the ice, or it will warm up the surface enough where you can then mop it up before it freezes. So you're just gonna have to figure out what works. And then of course you've got that whole salty ice crap that gets kicked up from the road. That's tricky because that's what I mean is it's case dependent. So I'm not sure I would necessarily want to do rinseless if I know that there's a bunch of like gravel particles and salt particles stuck to the lower part of the paint. Yeah, the lower part of the car. That would be pretty dicey. I probably would prefer to blast it with some pressurized water to kick off as much of those particles as possible before touching it with something. So the point is you got to adapt to your environment. If you want a rinseless that's just for exteriors that leaves protection, then Lambo Cosmetica Hydrosave, and must be done panel by panel, else Phoenix EOD Hydra O&R DIY detail rinseless. Yeah, those are all good options. Yeah, I would just say just commit to one. I've yet to hear of a guy that ever said like, "Oh hell no, I'm never doing that again." Now
Yeah.
they may say like, "Oh, I totally see the merits of it. I don't know if I'm gonna do it every single time on every single car, but absolutely."
I always say, Darren, since obviously I have a little bit of experience living in the cold again, I always say that if I lived here year round, what I would do is right before the winter time, I would do a full detail, wash, wax, like prep it for the winter. And that way, when the winter comes along and it's freezing cold and it's really hard to wash your car, then you just do light maintenance on it. You don't go ape on it. And then once the winter dies out, then that's when you do a full detail on it, again, clay it and everything.
Yeah,
That's just me though. That's what I would do.
I concur.
Um, all right, let me go to.
That's funny. Blockbuster had a long run. Yeah, they did. And boy, did they shit the bed.
There you go, Darren. That's a compliment towards you.
I guess he might be saying, "Wow, what a story," with sarcasm. Like, dude, can you tell the story in maybe only 2,000 words instead of 20,000 words?
Nah, he meant that as a compliment.
Jimbo Slice, yes, always, or yes, also Owner's Pride Eco Wash. I have not heard of that product myself. Doug Gary Dean, I remember he also used APC and soap or rinseless too. Pull up YouTube, Sean, and type in Gary Dean. I'm really curious. Fane Lab Pure Rinseless V3 is also amazing. Thanks, Doug. So see when his last upload was.
He only has 10,000 subscribers. That's not that much for someone who's been around that long.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of people just, it literally was like one commercial after another.
Yeah,
700 videos, wow. So 11 hours. So he's still active. What a trip.
Yeah, his engagement is not that great as though.
What are you basing that on? The fact of his subscriber count or something else?
Well, like 11 hours ago, 22 views.
Yeah. I mean, I've got no room to talk these days. My channel is like, I post a video and it's like crickets.
No, I understand that, but like that's because you're not consistent. I'm saying right here is like,
but this guy's consistent.
I'm 2,100 subscribers, and I get more engagement than this guy.
Yeah.
I mean, just like his engagement is not very good.
Yeah, it's based on the thumbnails, he pretty much looks the same, although it looks like he might have lost some weight. It's been so many years. I truly forgot about this guy.
Maybe I'll reach out to him and get him on the live streams.
I don't think so.
Just joking. I don't know who he is. So.
Okay. Well, that hasn't stopped you before, has it?
No. Here's Juice Free. So Juice Free, as you know, there. I think I told you he's got a YouTube channel. I'm gonna give him a shout out.
Yeah, I think we've discussed that before.
Yeah, and
what's up, gang?
Juice
Free.
I actually recently reached out to him.
Yeah.
Why is it not showing up? It's because his channel is really small.
Put in Juice Free Detailing. How about if you do that?
Yeah, it's
because you're pulling up all this rap stuff. It looks like detailing.
I did.
Oh.
His channel is just really tiny, so when it's really small, it's like almost impossible for it to pop up.
I know. YouTube and their algorithm, it's really kind of frustrating at times.
Anyway, so it's okay. Actually, no, I want to find him. He
maybe his channel. I mean, is it called Juice Free? His channel? Do you recall?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
How about if you put auto detailing first?
Wait,
and then Juice Free second.
Yeah.
Wait for it.
No.
No? Still no?
No.
Wow.
It's okay. So I told him that he recently made some videos. I saw it because I found. Anyways, well, I'll look for it later. But
you could go to your history unless there's stuff there you don't want us to see.
So much crap in there. No, I don't want to promote that. There's some stuff that I do want to keep private. So that's okay. I told Juice Free. I saw one of his recent videos, which I liked. I thought it was entertaining. And I told him that that we're gonna collab together
Yeah.
and do a video together. But also, I think it'd be interesting for him to be on the live stream. And anybody who wants to be on the live stream, I'm all down for it. So I don't care if you're a beginner, don't know shit about detailing,
Unless you're Gary Dean.
unless you're Gary Dean. Yeah, I still don't know what that is. I'm gonna have to watch his videos because
Yeah, watch
I don't
his
know much about
videos. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure he's cool in person, probably.
it. Yeah.
But it's just, if I recall, I mean, it really has been many years since I've watched his videos, and I couldn't tolerate it for too long. Not that I have much room to talk, but whatever. Both DIY Detail Rinseless and Phoenix EOD Hydra available at the House of Rags. Yeah, isn't DIY and House of Rags are kind of the same thing?
Same thing. They belong to the same club.
Depends on the vehicle. Rolls-Royce, I take extra steps, pre-spray new towels. Toyota Corolla, one towels. Yeah, which makes sense. You know, once again, context dependent, and opting for what would be most appropriate based on, wait for it, the context of the moment, who your customers are, what kind of car you're working on, how do they maintain said car, what are the weather conditions, how long it's been in between details or washings. So that's all part of the context. Context gives meaning, people.
This is good advice from Umberto.
Don't use hot water on frozen windshield or windows. Yeah, I would suspect that they could be prone to breaking. Hey, I got a story about breaking windshields. So check this out. And I talk about like having this happen on probably the most perfect customer. I myself, by myself, was detailing a Lexus SC. What's the SC 430? I think is what they call. It's a 2-door convertible sports coupe by Lexus. And I was detailing it. I was wrapping it up. I was about 90% done, and I was doing the windows. I was finishing up the exterior windows. You'll have to put in. No, you can't. There's too many coupes now. So put in Lexus SC 430 and see what comes up.
There it is.
There it is. Old school Lexus.
I was older and dirt.
So click on that brown one, the first top left-hand corner. I had one exactly that color. That there would be pages on my website with that exact car on it. I bet if you scroll down, it might even pull up one of my pages on my website. Anyhow, I was finishing up the windows, and I when I do windows, yeah, that's the exact car that I used to take care of. Not this story. This is another SC that I was doing.
Yeah.
So hover your mouse on the windshield in front of the driver. Yeah, right there. Okay, that's where I always start. And I work in a clockwise direction so that I make sure I get every single window. So I start there, do half the windshield, then I bounce to the other side, do the other half, and I work myself around. So I did that on this car, and now I'm in the back, and I'm doing the back window, and I hear this disturbing crack noise. And I look around, I'm thinking, what was that? And inside me, this like sense of fear started to grow, and I'm going, I sure hope that sound is not what I think it is. And I walk around to the front windshield, and there's a big fat crack going the entire height of the windshield. I'm going, what the F? Like, how is that even possible? And I'm thinking, how am I going to explain this to Johnny customer? A, yes, I'm working on the car, but B, it didn't happen when I was doing the front windshield. It literally happened when I'm on the back side of it. But C, is he going to believe me? And D, what if he doesn't believe me? And E, it's like, oh my gosh. Point is I just continued to work, and he came out before I was great. Thanks, Sean.
I'm teasing you. I did it on purpose. I was just a joke. Yeah.
Hey, you could put that other picture of me. That's when I was juicing.
Yeah.
Now that we've got juice up, and I look emaciated.
I just as you're talking, I'm trying to find.
Yeah,
I'm,
I know
I'm
you're
working
just
fast.
being silly.
Yep.
So the point, so I was almost done. I got further. I just kept on working, and I'm just like weighing in on this. Like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And so the customer came out, and I'm like, hey, by the way, and when he comes out, it's typical. The customers are like, oh my gosh, my car looks so great. I can't believe I didn't think it'd come look this good, or whatever they say. It was always positive. So I said, yes, it looks awesome, right? I said, but I got some bad news for you. I said, check this out. And I point at the front windshield. He goes, oh, wow. He goes, you know what? That exact same thing happened a few months ago, and I had to have the windshield replaced. I said, really? I didn't say it quite that excited, but I kind of had a feeling I knew where he was going. And he said, don't even worry about it. For whatever reason, this is a problem on these cars, at least on my car. So don't even worry about it. And so I told him in detail. It's like, well, just so you know, this is literally what happened. And I explained the situation to him, totally understanding. It's like, whew, I dodged that bullet. And honestly, I don't know if I mean, I would like to think if the roles were reversed and I'd already replaced the windshield because it had broke for no obvious reason, I would like to think I'd do the same thing and apply that courtesy towards me, which is like, dude, something's wrong with this windshield. Maybe it's the design. Maybe it's the installation. I don't know, but it already happened once. So I'm not going to hold you accountable. So there's my little story that had to do with Umberto and not using too hot of water on really, really ice cold windows. And I don't know if that's legit or not, because those windows are tempered glass. And of course, this could go into what year the car was manufactured. But windows, they're pretty amazing. I've done a few video watches on how they make windshields specifically, and then the other windows. It's pretty amazing the layers that they put on them for protection, so that the glass stays intact, so it doesn't shatter, which is different than just traditional tempered glass, because tempered glass is meant to burst into 1,000 different pieces, so you don't get any real sharp shards of glass. But on windows for cars, they actually put a layer, a film on them, so that, yes, they break, but I mean, you've probably seen it in real life videos, Sean,
Yeah.
where the front windshield gets broken and they literally like have to push the hole, even though it's caved in and it's all broken up, it stays in one single piece. That's a safety precaution. So they are pretty amazing, but I would always caution or err to the side of caution, as the saying goes. What are you doing, Sean?
I'm just messing around while you're talking.
Oh, all right. Yeah. Probably everyone that's in audience land is also doing that. Yeah, I try not to wash anything unless it's in the 50s for that very reason. Yeah, and 50s is cold enough, dude.
Yeah.
Watch the outdoor detailer. He does rinseless on very cold weather, on a very cold weather. I will for sure. I'm in Connecticut. It's been cold one this year.
Yeah.
Oh, bummer. Connecticut. How do I get on the live stream one week with y'all? All right. Bring it on, Birmingham. Sean, contact Sean.
Yep.
Where's your contact info, Sean?
If you go to my channel and you go to more, actually, wait a second. Oh, you go to view email address.
Wait, what?
Go to email address. So look.
So you have your email address on it, huh?
Yeah, it's not my email. It's an email address I created just for this.
Well, but it's your email address.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
I don't think I have it on mine.
So if you go to my channel, click on more, and then scroll to the bottom, it says click on view email address. Send me an email on here and let me know. And then we'll exchange numbers and we'll go from there.
Yeah. And you'll put him through a whole battery of tests.
Yeah, we'll go through.
Really vet him really thoroughly to see if he's can do it.
Well, we'll do a test run. Yeah, we'll do a test run. We'll go through like the technical stuff and then we'll do the live stream.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anybody who wants to join the live stream, I'm all for it. So,
Yeah, we got pretty low standards around here, anyways,
Yeah,
when it comes to
yeah.
stuff. So
yeah,
as
that's
you
right.
can
I mean,
tell
as you
by
can
our
tell,
production value,
I was gonna say, yeah. Darren is trying to say that I'm the worst. So I'm joking.
that is not what I'm trying to say
It's a
at
joke.
all.
It's
Not
a
even
joke.
remotely,
It was a
dude.
joke. I know.
All
Okay,
right.
it's a joke. I'm joking.
Self-deprecating joke.
It was a joke. All right.
Dang, when you hear that sound, shivers running up and down.
Hmm.
You know what? That just rhymed. Was
Hmm.
that intentional, Umberto?
Hmm.
When you hear that sound, shivers running up and down.
I can actually do that, Umberto. I can, if you give me enough time, I can make a thumbnail with Darren's. I can make Darren an accent. I mean, I can do anything. I mean, yeah, I can do tons of things I could do.
Yeah,
I was just
make
messing
the
around.
window peer shattered.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
just
with
messing around.
AI,
Yeah,
you can make it happen.
yeah.
Yeah, I wish I could have filmed that for an episode on my YouTube channel because it would have
Mhm.
been a good learning, I think, for guys. Hiker's been here before,
Yeah,
right?
yes, yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
Rico Hiker says, "Hey, you basically glue them together with high heat, right? The laminated glass. Well, I would call that a massive oversimplification, but that'll work. I mean, watch a video or two. I mean, I bet there's multiple channels on YouTube that will walk you through the manufacturing process. I know the one or two videos that I watched on it, I found it pretty interesting and pretty amazing. And you just realize, especially glass, because wait for it, it's transparent. Like in many ways, there's nothing to see because it's intended to look right through it. And so you diminish, meaning you kind of disregard it, or you trivialize it in the point of like, wow, it's just glass. Like, what's there to overthink? It's just glass, guys. It's like, well, tell you what, watch one of those videos and you'll realize how much goes into making the glass.
Yes.
Impressive.
Hey, Hiker saying hi to you and I, Darren.
Yeah. Welcome back, Hiker. Glad to have you here.
And now, oh crap. Now,
Oh crap.
there you go. Okay, there we go.
Did you uncrap the crap?
I did. Just saying, he's gonna send me an email.
Right on.
Doug is taking off.
Oh, all right, Doug. Well, thanks for tuning in and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Enjoy your night.
Calories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trust me, I will enjoy every one of those calories, Doug.
Yeah, actually, this is the first time ever we've done a stream where it's about to hit the hour, but we don't have like a million questions. I was gonna say we should, if anybody in the audience has any questions at all, anything at all, ask them now.
Yeah. And are you being literal, Sean? Like, could we go into philosophy or theology or quantum physics?
I don't
or
care.
Quantum mechanics?
It could be anything. I don't care.
Also, last night, for example,
yeah.
Let me ask this: how many of in our audience have ever heard of the Dunning-Kruger effect? Never mind, know what the Dunning-Kruger effect is. Anyone? And I'll even let you cheat. I'll even let you look it up on AI real quickly, and then you can act like you know your stuff. A little off topic. Has anyone ever left detailing to go back to a traditional knife? Oh, dude, that's me. No. Are you kidding? You know how many like excursions I've gone on trying to find an exit strategy for myself? I could tell you endless stories. Like, for example, I'm a licensed cosmetologist. That took me a year and a half of agonizing, stupid ass schooling that was a colossal waste of time just so I could take my what's called a state board test, which is a completely antiquated test that's just totally irrelevant, but you're forced to do it just so you can cut people's stinking hair. And did I love doing it? Yeah, I did. But that was an agonizing deal. But once I got into it, I realized there's no way I'm going to be able to replicate my income quickly enough. And then also I was just stuck indoors. So I could tell you so many, what's the word I'm looking for? Side roads. There's a word I'm looking for, or a term, where I took these different paths from detailing with the attempt to find something far less abusive on my body that could either match or exceed my income. In fact, one of those little detours, that's the word I'm looking for, detour. One of the detours was one of my customers, an extremely picky customer, highly neurotic, highly detail oriented. Like he just was like the impossible customer. But with that said, is I was able to make him happy, which is why he used me and continued to use me, which is also why he reached out to me years later and hired me to be kind of what you're applying for a job, or Sean,
Yeah.
is what did they call me? I was the facilities director. So we took care of and managed the company, his company took care of and managed commercial property. Mostly his specialty was medical office space. And some of these were like big ass, like 9-story facilities. So I was the director of facilities because I have an eye for detail, and that's what he wanted. He was neurotic about all his buildings anyhow. But after 6 months of that, it's like, oh my gosh, I just can't work for other people. And it wasn't, he and I didn't clash. He and I think very much alike, but the person that was my superior was a woman, and I'm pretty sure she just hated men. And I'm pretty sure she did not like me. I think I represented too much masculinity for her. And so we clashed. And then I did sales for a company that did energy efficient replacement products for your home. So HVAC, windows, insulation, roofing, and this process called text coating, which is a thermal efficient type of paint or coating paint that you use in replacement paint on the outside of your home. So I sold those in home. I lasted there for 6 months. So yes, dude. I mean, I've done so many things, and I did a lot of things in conjunction with detailing. I started learning paintless dent removal and realized that is a very long learning curve to master that. So I did not stick with that. Yeah, got a lot of stories. Birmingham Auto Detailing, I've seen several in the States because of winter. Oh, I'm guessing he's talking about cracked windshields.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wait, here we go. Here we go.
It makes me think all of our clients have some serious business and money. Always makes me think that I could do better out there. However, it's hard to be in a space that's not in your arena. Yeah, I mean, that is a mind F. Meaning, I accept that your question or your comment or your observation is kind of the cliff note of what is really going through your head. So I'm kind of connecting dots here, like your first statements. It makes me think all of our clients have some serious business and money. And I would say most of my clients were business owners, and they represented a very diverse audience, as in many sectors, from mortgage, um, land development, or property development, or developers. I had customers, they were one of the biggest in Southern California, land excavators with all the heavy equipment. I mean, just so many industries. And yeah, and as a rule, they all made bank. And as a rule, they all made like, 100,000 times more than I was. And so, yeah, it is a mind F. And you're like, man, but I accepted that's not going to be what I'm going to be able to do with detailing. And so everything in life comes with trade-offs. So for me, detailing, and which is why I always went back to it. Of course, it's easy to go back to something
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of psychology behind that. There's some simple phrases behind that. The devil you know is better than the devil you don't know, which is why most people are change adverse. Point is detailing really did represent in most ways the winning balance. I had complete autonomy because it was my business. Every day was basically different. I was outdoors all day, which I love, love, love. especially here in Southern California, which is why I stay living in sunny Southern California, despite the overregulation and the exorbitant taxes, because it's about the weather. So I could be in the sun all day long. I could listen to my music while I'm working. I get a degree of instant gratification because I show up to a dirty car, and when I'm done, it looks amazing. Customers want to see me. It's not like a dentist or a doctor where generally people don't want to see you. They want to see us as detailers, especially when you can perform the magic on their cars. It's like, wow. So that's very rewarding. So there's just so many things about it that really worked for me. And that's why I always defaulted back to detailing, even though I accepted that I was not going to make myself a millionaire doing it. I guess the goal with detailing, especially nowadays, you can't, in my opinion, you can make a lot more with detailing than ever before because, well, namely because ceramic coating. I mean, that really, I'm impressed that society, at least here in Southern California, has embraced it to the level that they have and are willing to pay the kind of money that they're willing to pay. So you, I mean, honestly, you could become a millionaire. I know it's an overused statement by detailing and forming your business properly and growing it properly. But really, for me, the goal was making enough that I had extra money left over that I could then invest it in other things that could then help me to become a millionaire. And that's not me saying that I am. I'm just saying is that that's how I accepted it. I was referring to the 9 to 5 that I have seen return because of winter. Yeah, that's another point. I do know there's plenty of detailers out there that accept that they're going to have to go get a traditional 9 to 5 because of the just bad winters they have to endure. What do you think of detailing as a side gig, part-time job? I'm a serial entrepreneur. I really want to try a business offering headlight restoration, maybe offering more from there. Well, I'm curious because this topic came up, was it last week, Sean? Do you remember with Jeff?
Yeah,
But do we recall if it was from Jimbo Slice, if he was the one asking about this?
I don't recall, but
See,
go on.
because if you and I were on the phone, Jimbo, I would ask you, like, why are you talking about headlight restoration? Like, I mean, because that's kind of obscure.
Oh yeah, yeah, I remember now. Yes, it was. It wasn't. I don't think it was Jimbo, but somebody else that mentioned that there's a guy that's all he does for a living.
Yeah.
Is restoring headlights.
And trust me, you can create a business. For example, here in Southern California, there's some headlights that are serious money to replace. And a shop that I'm friends with him by me, he restores, like he's got a side business that does this, and he'll ship like you, how he had it worked out is that you would ship your headlights to him and he would refinish them. He would sand them down, refinish them. They would be perfect. And he was, I don't know, $900 for a pair of like Porsche headlights. So it was, I don't know if he's still doing it or not because he actually got into PPF, and that's his deal now. So yes, you can absolutely make it a business. I would just, I guess, in that moment, point out the fact that it's a niche market, as in, is there enough demand? Because that's what you would have to investigate. Is there enough demand? And how much is the demand? As in, how many people are looking to have their headlights restored?
Well,
And then, of course, you have to look at the competition. How many guys are out there doing it? Which then means like, okay, what are they charging? So there would be a lot of things to consider, which are things that you would consider with any business. But because headlights really represent an obscure amount of the market, it's going to make all that due diligence more critical before you decide to go down that path versus just detailing in general.
I would say there is a demand because lately, because of inflation and high costs of everything, most people are not buying new cars anymore. Most people are keeping their old cars. So if
Yeah.
anything, you can use that. You can say, hey, instead of buying a new car, why not just restore your old car? That's what I would do.
Yeah, I mean, most people know that. I mean, I don't know if that's, I mean, a valid point, but
Yeah.
point is I'm just curious why he's picking that. Like, why didn't you pick paintless dent removal, or why didn't you pick window tinting as your whatever?
Well, that's going to be easier. Restoring headlights can be way easier than those things you just mentioned.
Yeah, granted, but that might be his answer. Is like, well,
Yeah.
because Darren, those are easier. And then I would just say the same thing. It's like, yeah, but the market, yes, there's people that want it done, but how much demand are there?
Yeah.
And what's
Yeah.
your competition? And do you think you can perform better than the competition who's already getting the action?
Right.
But if you're talking about a pool of people, let's say you live in a city of 300,000 people, and you say that 0.5% of people are
Yeah.
know what detailing is and want to detail their cars. So if you did the math, let's say it's, I don't know what, 300 people a month. It's like, okay, but that's going to be dispersed among the 20 detailers in the city. And then it's like, okay, well, what about headlight restoration? It's like, okay, now it's 0.0001% of the 300,000 people that want headlights restored.
Yeah.
And he could say, yeah, but there's only 3 guys doing it. It's like, yeah, but there's only like 30 people a month that are even considering it. Not
Right.
30 people a month that are willing to pay for it,
Mhm.
but 30 people a month that are considering it.
Well, not only that, because the other thing, there's not a lot of like people coming back for it, because once you do it, it lasts for a long period of time. So
Yeah, that's the
uh,
goal anyways,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
one time job kind of thing.
Yeah, it's not what you'd call a consumable or a
Yeah.
disposable, like detailing. Like your car's going to get dirty the second you stop detailing it.
Right.
And you could say the same about headlights, but headlights degrade over years. Your detailing job's going to degrade over months. So they're going to need to come back. It doesn't mean they're going to come back for sure, but they're going to need to come back way sooner. So you've got this thing called repeat business.
Yeah.
Yeah, full-time detailing is tough based on the weather in which you live. The context is the weather. So yeah, I get it. It's tough. And honestly, I don't know what guys do. I mean, I know what they do, but that would be tough to toggle in and out of detailing every single year because of the weather. That would be tough. The sunlight and freedom is huge. Yeah, exactly. Like those two things. I mean, it'd be hard to put a number on it. And also Birmingham, I literally love detailing. I love cleaning cars. I
Yeah.
just love cleaning in general. I'm not sure exactly why. I just know I do. I think I like it just because of the results I can get. Um, and because I am so conscientious and detail oriented, I really get a charge at when I can take something that just doesn't look very good because it's dirty, and dirt can mean so many things. But I love the ability to take something that looks less than and make it look fabulous. And part of that goes with organization. So those kind of go hand in hand, which is part of my personality type, highly conscientious, one of the big 5 personality traits. Great listen so far. Thanks, guys. Dingo Dude.
He's new.
Okay, Dingo Dude. Yeah, I was going to say, I think you might be new. And Dingo, I noticed that no one answered my question about the Dunning-Kruger effect. So how about this second question? Does anyone know what a dingo is? Do you, Sean?
Yes. It's like a dog in Australia.
Close enough.
Okay. Well, here's
Yeah,
it's a wild dog. So
close enough.
okay.
See, there's actually, if I recall, there's actually a distinction. So dingo, many people say that the wild dog and a dingo are the same thing. I'm pretty certain that they're actually distinct as far as a species. So dingoes are their own entity, but you're close enough on point.
But really quick, I want to look at this conference table. It's 2 parts. Does this part right here read it?
Okay, I watch a guy's YouTube channel, and that's all he does, but he's in Florida. And
Here's
what
the
does
other
that
part.
mean is the headlights? He basically says there's a
Yeah.
big demand and not a huge amount of people who do it. To replace them can be over $1,000. Yes, headlights are expensive. So once again, I know you can do it, but it's going to be context dependent. Where do you live? What's the competition? What's the demand? All things that you need to consider when starting any business. But I'm just suggesting that because headlights is a niche product versus a big, wide, expansive
Yeah.
I should say service, not product. It's a niche service. So I'm just saying apples, it's not an apples and apples comparison by any stretch. That's all. Anyhow, during the month I've done maybe 6 to 8 headlight restorations. That's a lot of headlight restorations. I honestly did quite a few, but I would never reduce it down to how many I did a month, because there would be 6 months before I would do another one. Headlight restoration is on my website, but I really didn't do much to promote it specifically. Like, for example, I never told people like, hey, your headlights look a little garbagey. I could restore those. Occasionally, and that's where I got most of my business, the customers would say, hey, is there anything I can do about the headlights? And I would say, yeah, I can restore them. This is what's involved and this is what it's going to cost. And most of them were just like, okay, thank you. And occasionally I would get a job. But if I was going to sell it, what I would do in those cases is I would really push for it, because when you see a car that's got dull headlights or foggy headlights or yellowing headlights and you restore them, I mean, it's literally like a facelift for the car. It is dramatic how many years it will take off the appearance of the car. I think if most people really saw before and after, they'd be like, oh, hell yeah. Like, why did I wait so long? I absolutely want to do that.
Yeah, actually, I want to share something with you real quick. Kind of funny story. When I first got into it, I had this cheapskate, super cheap guy, and he's like, "Can you do my headlights for me?" I'm like, "Yeah, I could do them." And he's like, "How much would it be?" I'm like, and at the time I was doing pretty cheap. I said, "I'll do both of them for like," I think that day I was detailing 4 of his cars.
4 of his cars?
Yeah, 4, yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah, and I was there all day. So and he's like, "You do the headlights at the end?" He's like, "Yeah, I could do them." And he's like, "How much would it be?" I'm like, they're pretty bad shape. I said, "I do it for $100." He's like, $100? That seems expensive. I go, oh, fucking cheap motherfucker. So that's why I told him. I said, okay, well, I'll tell you what, you can go on Amazon and you can buy a kit for, I think, like $15-20, and you can do it yourself. And he's like, oh, I don't know about that. It's like, well, either that or you pay me the $100.
Well, he is cheap.
Yeah. And then he said, I'll just do it myself. He called me a month later, said he tried it. It didn't come out right. And want to know if it's still $100. I said, no, it's $100 when I was there.
Good for you, man.
But I said, yeah, I can go out there, but it's going to be $250. He's like, $250. And I was like, well, if you don't like it, you can go on Amazon and you can get a kit. And then
smart ass.
Yeah, I didn't care. And then I didn't want to go back to the guy. I did a job one time, and he was so cheap. Every time he was haggling the prices, but I was already there, so like I'll just do it, just get paid. But I told myself I added him to like my black book. I blacklisted him. I never want to go back to the guy again. I want to be polite, right? But I know for a fact there's no way in hell I would ever go back to the guy again. And when he called me back he's like, well, I got, there was that thing like, you hook me up and I'll be sure to give you, I'll tell my friends about you.
Yeah, jack off. Anytime anyone says that, to me, is a red flag.
Yeah, so I was like, nah. And he's like, oh, no, let's go get somebody else. I'm like, okay, get somebody else. And then I said, if you change your mind, let me know. But I'm going to tell you, that price of $250, that price could go up. I told him that because I'm in high demand.
You were going to make sure that he never called back.
Yeah. He never called back again after that. So, but anyways.
All right, it's almost 7:20. Let's finish these last few.
Yeah, let's speed through these.
Darren, do you still have cash only policy? Absolutely, I do. I'm considering doing this. IRS caught up to me, and man, it's ridiculous, dude. IRS, don't even get me started. So yes, I am 100% cash free. And what I love is all these guys that come in and tell me like, oh, dude, there's no way. I said, I promise you there's a way. And I promise you I've shown how to figure it out. So yes, I am a big cash only. And by cash, I don't mean a check written out into your name. I literally mean green cash. And when I talk to my customers, I make sure that there's 100% clarity that they know cash means the green paper type of cash, not a check written out to cash, not a check written out to my name. It means cash. It doesn't mean some app like Apple Pay or Venmo. It means cash. What part of cash do you not understand? Has made me deeply disturbed and quite frankly unstable. Which part? You see lots of people use the off mosquito spray to call it restore their hair. Yeah. I mean, trust me, there's tricks for anything. There's shortcuts for anything. Same here. Detailing does check the box in a lot of ways. Yeah, I suspect it. Anyone that stays with detailing long enough, it's got to check enough of those boxes because it's just too hard physically. You've got to have enough of those boxes checked, or you're going to check out. Kind of wild dog found exclusively in Australia. Okay, cool. Thanks for clarifying that, Umberto. I think a huge part of this job is social media, Instagram posting, because yes, it's an extremely niche. Yes, it is. So yeah, sounds like you've started to do your homework, Jimbo. Exactly, posting videos and before and afters. Yes, it is dramatic.
Yeah.
It really is. It's one of those things that even in videos, I would call that anticlimactic, because when you see your car firsthand, especially if you got some pretty horrid headlamps, I mean, it's just like, wow, oh my gosh, I can't believe what a difference. Yep, it's a safety thing. I mean, yeah, I mean, I get your point. I'm not sure how many people would sign on just for that, but it is a compelling part of your argument. Yes, so self-appointed marketers that say they will refer you to his friends. Yes, do a good job on my car, and I've got a bunch of guys that are totally into the cars, and I will hook you up. It's like, dude, that's just a big fat red flag in my world. All right, is that it, Sean?
That's it. So let's go ahead and end this.
Hey, party people, thanks for tuning in. On your way out, if you don't mind, give it a thumbs up, a like, whatever you want to call it. I hate the fact I even say that. I don't know about you, Sean, on an ending note. What?
I don't hate it. It's like we okay. So Darren and I go on these videos for free. We don't get paid to do this. We do it because we want to. We enjoy it, but at the same time, you know, by liking the video, it helps spread the word. So
law of reciprocity.
It's a lot of work.
But you know what, Sean? Tell me this. Like, I am so tired of watching videos and everyone does, let's play follow the leader, but they're not playing follow the leader. They're playing follow the follower. And so everyone says that you have to, at the beginning, say, don't forget to like it and subscribe it. And everyone tells you like, oh, you got to make sure you stay tuned to all the latest content. You don't want to miss that out. So make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you get the latest updates from me. It's like, yes, we get how it works. Like, can everyone just stop copying everyone else?
But you also got to understand that you're listening to it, but there could be a new viewer coming in that doesn't know. So
I know. Trust me, it's called a call to action, and you have to remind people. I understand that it actually does work. Yes. What's one of the latest ones? I just realized that 80% of our viewers that watch our content are not subscribed to our channel. Yeah. Are you one of those people? Yeah. It doesn't take but a second to become. It's like, oh my gosh, they're so desperate.
I get it. But
anyhow, all right, so, we'll cut. Yeah. All right, party people. Same bat channel, same bat time next week. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Peace out.
Later.